Hey guys, I hope you're having a powerful day and are ready to be engaged and inspired further for the rest of the conference. I know we have a lot of great speakers lined up for you today, so I'm super excited to be here. Hope you got a lot of stuff out of yesterday as well. As we begin, I just want you to take a brief moment with me to reflect on your Cutco journey thus far. Whatever that means for you, whether you literally just started a week ago or you're a 2-year veteran assistant manager with us, really think back to how you got started. Why'd you choose to follow through on this weirdo knife gig in the first place? What was the draw to really do something that you knew was different and unconventional and probably a little bit outside your comfort zone? So, what was it that really got you over that hump of discomfort that stands in the way of so many people? Maybe it was the money, the free Cutco. That's pretty exciting. Maybe it was just super funny and good looking people like me. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe it was energetic and supportive environment. Maybe it was the championship team. Maybe it was just resume experience. You wanted to throw something else down other than Target, right? Maybe it was experience for your future, really building communication skills or the sales skills. Maybe it was to grow as a leader, to really develop yourself into somebody of influence. Or maybe it was really just to prove to yourself that you are and always will be capable. For me, it was just to escape the threat of doing yard work every day during the summer with my mom. And all I really wanted was a gig that I could just go check in, check out once a week, be brain dead for a couple hours, just to say that I was doing something. Like pretty much everybody, I was really ignorant to the life-changing opportunity that I had stumbled upon. But like I said, I wasn't looking to change my life at all. I was really content living with all the opportunities and the privilege that my parents provided for me. And my goal was definitely not to work hard, and it definitely was not to grow. I remember my fast start in particular like it was yesterday, as probably you do as well. It was really the first time in my life that I set out to hit a goal that I wasn't already sure I could hit. I didn't recognize it at the time, but this was a massive first step for me, reshaping my mindset for growth. I was inspired by the competition to set my goals really big and then actually show that I cared about hitting them. And my first 10 days were full of lessons. And there were lessons that I remembered day after day throughout the summer. Yet while I remembered them, I didn't actually learn them until much later. In order to do what others can't, you got to be willing to do what others won't. That was the one that really stuck with me. And I probably heard 50 times throughout my fast start. Even after getting a glimpse into my potential, though, after that fast start, I really had no vision for my summer. I barely did anything for a couple weeks until SC2 came around. And the only reason I really stuck around for that was because deep down, I was attracted to the atmosphere of growth and the energy that my manager, Connor, had created. I really didn't want to disappoint him, but I also really didn't want to do anything productive. So when it came to our planning session for that contest, we agreed to rewrite the contract. So all I really had to commit to was just waking up early every day. My goal was technically 10K, but I really wasn't focused on that at all. And I can pretty confidently say after now running an office, there's probably not a whole lot of certainty in Connor's head that I was really going to do anything. I ended up for SC2 selling $23,500 worth of Cutco. And that last night in the office with all my new friends was by far the most accomplished that I had ever felt in my life. For 2.5 weeks, I had gone to growth camp. And it was the first time that I'd really given 100% of my effort and focus to one main thing. And I had slipped up a ton. I made a ton of mistakes. My effort wasn't always there. My mindset, my emotions were all across the board, but I really tried at it. And the only true failure is the failure to try. That tiny aperture through which I saw my potential through my fast start was slowly beginning to expand. I was slowly allowing my mindset to be reshaped. And I was coming to the realization that we really are in control of our own situation and our own destiny. So by the time SC2 finished up, I was open to learning. And at this point, I was open to success, but I stopped. So for the rest of the summer, I really regressed. And I allowed myself to be swayed by my mom, who now was telling me I was working too much and too hard, and I should just quit at it. And my one regret the whole summer was not working in August. People, you might have noticed, they don't regret working hard. You never hear the stories of people that regret working hard. The only stories you hear are people who regret not working hard enough, who wish they just studied that 1 hour longer, who did one more demo that week, that had just one chance to do it all again. For me, the whole month of August was really a blur. Rather than choosing growth and earning an All-American scholarship for the summer, I finished my summer with just a strange sense of guilt. But moving into college at the U gave me a handful of new and uncomfortable experiences and situations to focus on. So although I felt like I was still growing, I ultimately was just slipping back into my comfort zone. Then winter break came around, and the last thing I really wanted to do was work hard. It was really summer all over again, except this time it didn't give me that excitement of the shiny new summer job. And I had a decision to make at that point. I either chose to continue growth or to continue regressing. Do I choose what I know is going to be more difficult because I know it will put me in a position of choice and allow me to expand my capacity for the future, to really prove to myself that I was capable of becoming that person I knew I eventually wanted to become? Or did I choose to think back in 1, 5, 10, 15 years and really wonder, what if I decided to put myself in that position of choice? What if I took advantage of the opportunity for 2 weeks to put myself through more adversity? And I could feel that same guilt rise inside me that I ended the last summer with. In order to do what others can't, you got to be willing to do what others won't. So I chose growth. And I chose for 2 weeks to match my actions with those who I aspired to be. My whole perspective, my mentality, it already had begun to change. And I had found just a new purpose and a new energy. And this was one that now revolved around my future. The problem that so many people have when they're striving for really big goals is that they get so lost in the present. And don't take this the wrong way. I definitely believe it's important to live life in the present, to appreciate everything around us every day. Because if we don't acknowledge the day, the gifts that are given to us in the present that we have every day, we'll never be really fulfilled. But simply because you want to live life in the present doesn't mean that you should disregard the fact that every action that you take and every decision that you make has a catastrophic impact on your quality of life for you tomorrow. And almost more importantly, the influence that you might have on others and the world for the future. That push in particular over winter break, for those of you that don't know, it was a 2-week contest that started last couple of days of December going into January, and it was way harder than I expected. All my leads were cold, and it was not just because it was winter in Minnesota, right? So I had a false sense of security. Because of my abilities over the summer, I thought that success would just simply carry over. And this definitely wasn't the first alliance I'd been a part of or the first time I heard the morning messages on growth or adversity. But because of my deep reflection before making the decision to go for it, it was the first time that I was really ready to listen. And I started to understand at least the quote that I heard so many times before, which was, when the whys are strong enough, the hows reveal themselves. And this was the first time in my life that I had a really clear reason to strive for success. And what a difference that can make, right? Most people who set out to hit the really big goals fail, not because they're not capable, but simply because they're just interested in hitting the goal, but not actually committed to them. And a lot of times that difference between those who are truly committed to hitting that goal is that they're driven by something internal. And for me, it really was to prove to myself that I was capable of the person that I wanted to be. That if I really set my mind to something, no matter what the circumstances, I was the type of person that had the drive to go out and do it. There was also a trip to Cabo and a couple $1,000s on the line. But really what it was, although the resort was beautiful, more than anything, that trip to Cabo, it just served as a certificate of my potential. So when I got back from Cabo, after networking with a lot of the top managers there, my mindset was completely different. Being surrounded by so many people that are just focused on growth had a really lasting impact on me. I bought my first personal growth book. I planned out all my days. I started getting up earlier. I was listening to podcasts on a daily basis. I got better grades in school, but because I was managing my time better, I also had a lot more free time. And I went to all my classes with just a new respect for all the privilege that I had to learn. I was no longer just going through the motions, but I was consciously thinking every single day about why the motions really mattered. How successful do you think you'd be if you gave everything that sort of intent? In what ways could your life really change for the better? I saw the impact that it had on not only me, but also the friends that I had in the way that they looked at school as well. And I felt more influential than I ever had. And that all started by growing myself. So when I was given this opportunity to branch, I was ecstatic to be given a platform to create that same influence I had with my friends, but on a much grander scale to really impact someone's life like I had been impacted. But I was also terrified. I was terrified of working hard. And again, like my fast start, I was terrified of really trying at something and failing at it. And that fear was a really powerful motivator. Fear itself, it sits as a barrier strategically right between our comfort zone and our growth zone. And in order to really break into the growth zone and become massively successful, we must understand our fears and learn to be comfortable being that uncomfortable. And what most people and many people just don't realize is that fear is plainly just a paradigm of what we don't really know. It's like that mirage on a roadway on the hot, sunny days. You're driving down. It looks all mysterious and perplexing. You're not exactly sure where the road is in front of you, right? But when you get closer, you realize there was really nothing there at all, and it was just all an illusion. One of the biggest lessons that I've learned throughout my branch office experience is that we're our own worst enemy. We're our own biggest roadblock. We create the excuses and the justifications for ourselves, really to spare our feelings. Through running a branch office, I learned never let the fear of failure outweigh the opportunity for success. I've learned that there's always going to be failures, but the failure is only your destination if you choose to stop there. Whenever we get to those failures, we either choose, yeah, we didn't succeed, or we didn't succeed yet. And this very acknowledgement of the fact that there is no final destination in life, because there's always room for growth and there's always room and opportunity to improve. That's what allows us to find fulfillment. So through running a branch office, it taught me that it's only when we lose sight of the possibilities for progress that we think from that scarcity mindset and we lose track of our purpose. It's allowing that scarcity mindset to take over that results in us becoming blind to the bigger picture and really the opportunity ahead of us. Through running a branch office, I experienced the difficulty and the power of staying focused on delayed gratification and that road ahead, as opposed to focusing on instant gratification. It was throughout the summer, as well as in life, there was and there will continue to be a lot of struggle, a lot of sacrifice. But those who are able to just remain driven towards the greater long-term goals, they're always going to be better off, because they're able to appreciate what they have and where they are while looking forward to where they're going. Now, I'm going to make the assumption no one here has really sucked everything they can out of life. If you have, congrats. We haven't accomplished everything that we were dreaming of. There's definitely still more to achieve. So what's stopping you? Really ask yourself, if you have a vision for your future, let it consume you. If it's something worth doing, you know it's not going to be easy, or it probably won't be significant. You're going to need to grow along the way, because your level of success, it's never going to surpass your level of personal growth. And I can tell you, there's no camp or class or course that offers the same opportunity for personal growth than the branch opportunity. It's funny that it's called a branch opportunity because branches grow off of trees, right? At the beginning of last summer, I named our office the Stillwater Saga. And saga, by definition, my team could probably recite this from memory by now, but it's a long story of heroic achievement. It's the dramatic history of a person, group, place, or industry. And my goal is to make sure that everyone in our office, they learned at least something of value during their time with us that they could take with them. And I really wanted to be the person that was able to change the perspective of the vector opportunity in our area. Through the branch opportunity, I was able to become that person of influence, to really make a positive long-term impact on everyone that I met. And one of the most powerful things that I knew I could teach is that we're all capable of so much more than we think we are. We're in control of where we end up. We all have the pen in our hands. And some kind of story or saga we're going to write for ourselves. What kind of heroic achievements do you want to wear on your belt? Really, when it's all said and done, what do you want to be remembered for? And I want to invite all of you guys to join the revolution, to really take control of the reins and create the life you want for yourself through constant, invigorating pursuit of growth. No one sets out for mediocrity. No one is born to be average. We're born with a longing for ultimate fulfillment and prosperity. We're born with the dreams and with the curiosity and with the attitude that we can achieve everything in anything. I want to encourage you to let yourself be reborn like I've been here. I want to encourage you to choose growth and to understand that every decision that you make either takes you closer or further from your goals. I want you to dream of the possibilities and then take action and really ask yourself this summer or beyond, whatever the future may hold for you, what would you achieve if you knew you could not fail? Thanks.